Which life do you want? Life of true security or a life of having no security? Which one do you like? Sure, secure. Which life is called a life of having true security, and which life is called a life of having no security? Normally, people all over the world, they are trying to secure their life. However they try, they can't get it. Because of this reason, today I want to give a talk. Life of true security. Even people want life of secure, their life is insecure. People all over the world now, at the present, they all are in danger. Because of this reason, now today we will start this talk. So from time immemorial, we humans have sought protection against the countless dangers that threaten to engulf us and our loved ones. Not only they sought to protect against the countless dangers that threaten to overwhelm them and their loved ones, as well as entire nation and society as a whole. Some dangers we can see, they touch and harm us through our physical organs. Others arise mysteriously and imperceptibly to plague us like ghosts and goblins in the night. Man counters them with various rites and rituals. Some of these are colorful and elaborate. Some even seem to produce the desired results. But without our knowing their long-term effects, or when our life circumstances will change, even the most powerful ritual cannot protect us from the result of our past karma. Equally elaborate is the protection and security we build around ourselves to counter physical dangers and threats. Health insurance, life insurance, police, vaccinations, medical checkup, vitamins, organic food, low cholesterol diets, fallout shelters and bulletproof vests are just some of the measures we employ to protect ourselves against the danger of the unknown. How often do we see rings of bodyguards surrounding important personages or security systems and guard dogs at the homes of the wealthy? Nations too stockpile huge armories of weapons. Some even want to send their weapons into outer space. When people see a person surrounded by signs and symbols of external security, such as armed guards and kung fu experts, they are almost always impressed. Some even crave such a show of security. They mistakenly believe that this will help bring them the security that they crave. Let us now ask ourselves two important questions. What is a life of true security? And what is a life of true security? And how is a life of true security developed? I repeat again. What is a life of true security? Another question. How is a life of true security developed? These two questions are the subject of my talk today. I'm basing this talk on selections from the Samyutta Nikaya, the Anguttara Nikaya, and the Dhammapada. Thus, the foundation for my talk today is the Dharma of our Lord Buddha. Once I present the facts, you can draw your own conclusions. Let us begin with the first question. What is the life of true security? In order to give the correct answer to this question, a Buddha has to arise in the world. Just as darkness disappears with the arising of the sun, ignorance disappears with the arising of the Buddha. So if there is no rising of sun, so the world we stay will be dark. In the same way, if there is no arising of the Buddha, we can't dispel our ignorance. If there is no arising of the Buddha, if there is no arising of the Buddha in the world, we will not know even what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. Do you agree? Yes. It is only with the arising of the Buddha that we can understand what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. When we put that understanding into practice, we can dispel our own ignorance. Only then we can truly know the difference between reality and illusion, wholesome and unwholesome, samsara and nibbana. Do you know what is reality and what is illusion? You know what is wholesome, what is unwholesome? You know what is samsara and what is nibbana? So, if our Buddha didn't arise in the world, we will not know what is reality, what is illusion, what is samsara, what is nibbana. Why do you come and meditate? She is preparing to answer. Why do you come and practice?
She has come to, she says, samsara. She has come to get liberation and finish her pain, suffering.
So, the purpose of practicing is to know the reality. What is reality and what is illusion? You see me? You all see me. So if you see me as a man, as a bhikkhu, if you see yourself as a man, as a woman, it is not yet reality. So, according to the teaching of the Buddha, there are two truths: conventional truth and ultimate truth. Conventionally, it is true, there is man, there is woman. But ultimately, there is no. If we don't know the ultimate truth, we will not know nibbana. We will know samsara. So now you hear reality and illusion, samsara and nibbana. If you have illusion, so you will wander around the samsara. But if we know the truth, reality, we will see nibbana. We practice meditation to know reality and to see nibbana. Let us now refer to the teachings of the Buddha. My first reference comes from the Kosala Samyutta in the Sakkadavagga Samyutta. The title of the sutta is Atta Rakita, which means self-protected. So once, when the Lord Buddha was staying in Savatthi, King Pasenadi of Kosala visited the Lord. Having paid proper respect to the Buddha and sitting to one side, the king addressed the Buddha. We all have no such opportunity. You know what I mean? We were not the ones, those who have met the Buddha. Agree? If we have met the Buddha, maybe we have already made an end of suffering. We have already seen Nibbana. However, now we are born as humans, and we got the opportunity to listen to Dhamma. That we are very fortunate. Why? The Buddha said, it is difficult to be born as human. Human life is the life which is difficult to be reborn. That's why Buddha said, difficult is human birth, and also it is difficult to hear the Dhamma too. But for the king Kosala, he met with the Buddha, he approached the Buddha, and he addressed the Buddha. What did he say? Venerable Sir, why I was alone in seclusion? These questions arose in my mind. Who protect themselves and who leave themselves unprotected? Then it occurred to me, those who engage in misconduct with the body, misconduct with speech, and misconduct in the mind, do leave themselves unprotected. Even though a company of elegant troops may protect them, or a company of soldiers who fight on horseback, or a company of soldiers who fight on chariots, or a company of soldiers who fight on foot may protect them, still they leave themselves unprotected. So ancient time, king, they use a company of element troops. They use a company of soldiers who fight on horseback, and a company of soldiers who fight on chariots, and a company of soldiers who fight on foot. But for nowadays, you must understand other ways. So even they are protected by such a company. So in the mind of the King Kosala, it appears those who engage in misconduct with the body, misconduct with the speech, and misconduct in the mind, they leave themselves unprotected. People nowadays, they are trying to protect themselves with such a company. But King Kosala said, even they have such protection, it is not the real one. Even they have such protection, they themselves unprotected. In this way, he understood. For what reason? The reason is that protection is external, not internal. Therefore, they leave themselves unprotected. However, those who engage in good conduct with the body, good conduct in speech, and good conduct in the mind, will protect themselves even though they have no companies of special soldiers to protect them. For what reason? The reason is that protection is internal, not external. Therefore, they protect themselves. So when he addressed his thought to the Buddha agreed with the king, saying, so it is. Great king, so it is. Thereupon, repeating the entire previous statement of the king's vicinity, Lord Buddha then went on to recite this stanza. What is a stanza recited by the Buddha? Good is restraint with the body. Restraint by speech is also good. Good is restraint in the mind. Restraint everywhere is good. Virtuous everywhere restraint. One is said to be protected. Reading this sutta, we may know to some extent who is protected and who is unprotected. Ihe Asha Samhita?
Yes.
However, in order to know how to gain true security for ourselves, we need to reflect deeply. When we thoroughly understand the nature of security, then even if we have no external protection, we need not feel fear. Why? Remember the stanza recited by the Buddha to King Vicinity. Good is restraint with the body. Restraint by speech is also good. Good is restraint in the mind. Restraint everywhere is good. Virtuous everywhere restraint. One is said to be protected. The meaning of this verse is that good, wholesome bodily, verbal and mental conduct is a foundation for real self-protection and is effective even if we have no external protection. In fact, when we protect ourselves internally, the need for external protection is substantially, significantly reduced. Moreover, you should consider this. Those who have superior, extensive external protection often become proud, arrogant or overconfident. When they mistake external protection for real protection, they become careless in their behavior with others. They speak or act carelessly and have little consideration for the happiness and well-being of others. Their only concern is for their own happiness and well-being. With such wrong conduct, they leave themselves unprotected. This is not a life of true security. On the other hand, as the Buddha explains in the Antarakkhita Sutta, those who want to protect themselves and want secure life or true security should perform wholesome bodily, verbal and mental actions. What does Buddha say? If we want true security, we must perform bodily good conduct, verbally good conduct, mentally good conduct. Please keep in mind the following two important points. The Dhamma taught by the Buddha is not a teaching that cannot be understood and practiced. On the contrary, the Dhamma is one that can be understood and practiced. Second point, the Dhamma is taught entirely for the benefit of humans and devas who recognize its benefit and seek it out, both for themselves and others. In order to live a life of true security, the Buddha taught that wholesome bodily, verbal and mental actions protect us from greed, worry, fear and danger, as well as the suffering arising from the rebirth in the four woeful states. Unwholesome bodily, verbal, mental actions, on the other hand, are the cause of grief, worry, fear, danger, and rebirth in the lower states. Why is that so? To understand right and wrong bodily, verbal, and mental actions, we must analyze their causes. When we know their causes, we can start to train ourselves to suppress, reduce, or even eradicate them. I will repeat again. To understand right and wrong bodily, verbal, mental actions, we must analyze their causes. Only when we know their causes, we can start to train ourselves to suppress, reduce, and even eradicate them. If there is no arising of the Buddha, we cannot know the causes of wrong bodily, verbal, and mental actions. Let me ask you a few simple questions. Can you find any greed in your mind right now? Are you angry? Are you greedy now? Can you find any greed in your mind right now? Another question. Can you find any anger in your mind right now?
We say no.
Have you no greed?
Want to listen to the Dhamma talk.
Yeah?
She wants to listen to the Dhamma talk.
Yeah. You are not greedy now, sure. You are not also angry with anybody. But I want to know, have you no greed and anger? Yes, we have greed, anger, illusion, pride. But now, if we exhaustively searching in our mind, we cannot find a single and wholesome quality now. It doesn't mean we have no unwholesome qualities. They do really exist. But at this moment, they exist only as latent defilements. Do you know what is latent defilements? Latent defilements are defilements that lie dormant at the base of the mental continuum. Now we are not angry. Now we are not greedy. Because they lie dormant as the latent defilements in our mental continuum. Until we eradicate these defilements with part knowledge, they accompany us from rebirth to rebirth and bind us to the wheel of existence. Do you know part knowledge? We don't know.
Insight knowledge?
Yes. When we meditate, there are two meditation objects, samatha and vipassana. Samatha is developing concentration. Vipassana is contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. So when we can practice vipassana based on concentration, when we contemplate nature, dukkha, anatta, on ultimate mentality and materiality again and again, gradually or eventually, the insight knowledge mature. When the insight knowledge mature, part knowledge arises, eradicating the respective defilements which lie dormant in our mental continuum. That's why I said, until we eradicate these defilements with part knowledge, they accompany us from rebirth to rebirth and bind us to the wheel of existence. Yehasha Samnika? Okay, let me illustrate. Immediately after death consciousness, rebirth consciousness arises. What did I say? Immediately after death consciousness, rebirth consciousness arises. This is right knowledge. When someone dies as a human, the last my moment is called death consciousness. Whether humans, whether devas, whether animals, at the near death moment, at least an object appears. So if that near death moment object is wholesome object, if that object is the last object, we will be reborn as a human or as a deva. After death consciousness, if we are going to be reborn as a human, so we are conceived in the mother womb. After death consciousness, according to the Buddha, there is no soul that wandering around searching where to stay. Understand? Okay, now I will tell you. Immediately after death consciousness, rebirth consciousness arises. A nusaya kilesa. In English, the latent defilements, which we are talking about, lie dormant at the moment of death consciousness. So even at the death consciousness moment, our latent defilements at the time lie dormant in our mental continuum. Immediately it follows moment of rebirth consciousness. So easily if we say, when we are in our mother womb, the beginning stage of our life, even we can't do anything at that time, greed, hatred, delusion, pride, jealousy, stinginess, everything, they lie dormant as the latent defilements. They exist and seem in a state of potentiality. Here, please reflect. I will remind all of you. You see a mango seed. Don't you know that that seed, if we plant it will grow trees and it will one day bear fruit. But do you see plant and fruit in a mango seed? Do you see plant and fruit when you see a mango seed? No. But we all understand. It has potential. The potential to generate a plant and to produce its corresponding fruit in the future. So a seed needs suitable conditions such as water, sunlight, and then fertilizer and soil. If there is suitable conditions, the mango seed grows, plants, and one day it bears fruit. So in the same way, our defilements, even now we are not angry, even now we are not greedy, but we have greed, we have hatred, we have delusion, and so on. So, just as the plant arises from the seed in the presence of moisture, and the fruit arises from the plant in the presence of sunlight. In the same way, latent defilements which lie dormant in our mental continuum. When there is suitable conditions, so they comes up to the surface of the mind. Defilements can be classified into 3 stages. So the first stage, the stage of dormancy. It is good to know in Pali, Anusaya. So when the defilement lies inactive and latent at the base of the mental continuum, that stage is called the stage of dormancy, Anusaya. Okay, second stage, the stage of obsession. In Pali, we call Priyuktana. Priyuktana. It is to fulfill the Bharati. Repeating or reciting in Pali, it is to be able to fulfill the Bharati. Only when the Buddha appears in the world, we can hear this language. When the Buddha disappears, so in India now, very rare they use this language. This is simple language. This is the dialect that they used at that time, but Buddha used this for his Dharma. So the stage of obsession. So when the mind becomes fixated on the defilement, it is at this crucial point that the defilement rises to the surface of the mind. So easy to say. Greed, the lies dormant. It lies dormant as a latent defilement. When we see very desirable, beautiful objects, so the defilements that lie dormant as a latent defilement comes up to the surface of the mind. At that time, it is called the stage of obsession. The third stage, the stage of transgression. When bodily, verbal and mental wrong actions are performed, at that time we call the stage of transgression. So when we are angry, so if we are angry only in our mind, so it is called obsession. But if we bodily, verbally act or speak, at that time we perform an action, it is the stage of transgression, we take them up, we call. So the first stage of dormancy, is the stage in which defilements lie dormant in our mental continuum. This is what we have explained already. Let us now look at second stage, stage 2, the stage of obsession. When we see attractive object, the desire for that object often arises in the mind. Defilements transit from dormancy to activity in the sense that one is now ready to act. It is to perform unwholesome bodily and verbal actions. The same basic pattern occurs with the defilements rooted in hatred and delusion. When we see an object that we don't like, aversion arises. Likewise, when we see an object without knowing that its fundamental nature is impermanent, suffering and non-self, delusion arises. At this stage of obsession, if we keep our mindfulness, the defilements can be suppressed. In this way, we can prevent unwholesome actions from being performed. However, when there is a lack of mindfulness, our obsession quickly and invariably gives rise to wrong action. This is the stage of transgression. Let me go one step further. So there are 6 sense doors on which visible objects, sound objects, smell objects, taste objects, tangible objects and mind objects can impinge. Due to envoy's attention, greed arises upon contact with a desirable object. Do you know envoy's attention? Due to envoy's attention, greed arises upon contact with a desirable object. So when we see very beautiful objects, we see just as beautiful object. It is because of not knowing the truth. If we just see it as beautiful form, beautiful objects, it means we have no wise attention. So because of unwise attention, many, they are greedy when they see beautiful objects. When they see undesirable objects, they feel angry. All are because of unwise attention. So whenever greed or hatred arises, delusions follow. The nature of greed is wanting or desiring. Its function is to stick like glue. When desire for an object arises, greed sticks to the object. Let me ask you a very good question. Now you all are not greedy. Now you all are not angry with anybody. But you all know you have greed and anger. When you see desirable objects, the greed that lie dormant as a latent defilement in our mental continuum comes up to the surface of your mind. The function of the greed is, it wants something. The nature of the greed, it is desiring or wanting something. So when you see desirable object, desiring that object arises in your mind. You desire for that object or greed desire for that object? Greed. But you all say, I want, right? Right or wrong? So if we say we want, it is wrong. Now we are those who want. Just the greed wants, the greed desire for that object only. Here we can say greed is doing its own job. Right? Is the greed yours? Is the anger yours? Not ours. If we think we are desiring something, if we think we are being angry with someone, it says we are wrongly understanding. So because of this reason, the wrong actions of bodily wrong actions, verbally wrong actions and mentally wrong actions arise. Here what I want to say more, bodily wrong actions and verbally wrong actions arise because we think we are desiring, we think we are angry with someone, being angry with someone. Because of this reason, we act, we speak. Why we think we are angry, we are greedy, we are desiring something? It is because of self-identity. Because of self-identity, Greed, hatred and delusion cannot be separated from I, me and mine. Due to self-identity, defilements like greed, hatred and delusion, and the I cannot be separated. So when greed, hatred and delusion arise, we take them to be my greed, my hatred, my delusion. The same applies to pride, jealousy, envy and so on. Due to wrong view, that is, seeing things as I, me and mine, we perform unwholesome actions. If we examine these wrong actions, we see that bodily and verbal wrong actions are the end result of mental wrong actions. If mental actions are wholesome, the resulting bodily and verbal actions are also wholesome. If mental actions are unwholesome, the resulting bodily and verbal actions are likewise unwholesome. Having no mindfulness or lacking of mindfulness, we are not aware of our defilements as they progress from the stage of dormancy to the stage of obsession, and then finally to the stage of transgression. So because of not knowing the defilements that lie dormant in our mental container as a latent defilements. Because of not knowing that latent defilements comes up to the surface of the mind, and because of not knowing that coming up, because of not knowing the defilements that comes up to the surface of the mind, we bodily, verbally act. All the bodily and verbal actions comes after mental actions. We do bodily actions and verbal actions, obeying mental actions. So if we know what is happening in our mind, we will know our mental instructions. If we know our mental actions, we will know it is right actions or wrong actions. But because people are heedless that they don't know what is happening in their mind, that they obey the instructions of mental actions. So to be able to achieve a life of true security, we need to do bodily good conduct, verbally good conduct. To be able to do bodily and verbal good conduct, we need to know what is mental conduct. Acting bodily and verbal actions is the stage of transgression. With greed and anger, if mind instructs us, it means it is obsession stage. The time when our mind, our defilements is inactive, it means the stage of dormancy. This is the way our latent defilements are working. To know it well, we need to train our mind heedfully. Only then we slowly know and we can train our mind more and more. I think I should stop here. Any questions?
If I understand correctly, the desire, anger or delusion are not associated with so-called I, which does not exist. Does that mean that there is no actor of unwholesome or wholesome deed?
Yes, because of self-identity. Okay? Because of self-identity, I view, my view. We wrongly think greed as I, greed as mine. Actually, because of suitable conditions, greed comes up to the surface of the mind, and then because of wrong view as I and mine, so we react, response, greedily, angrily. If we know the cause, it is not I. If we know the cause, it is the defilement that function. But because of wrong understanding as my anger and my desire, we act, we respond, we accumulate wholesome and wholesome deeds. So, according to the teaching of the Buddha, who is doing? Who do? Buddha asked. Actually, not we are doer. We just obey the instructions of the defilements. Because of this reason, we accumulate many and wholesome deeds. Any question?
If there's no self-identity, then what is the standard, what is the yardstick of doing wholesome and unwholesome deeds?
If there is no
self-identity,
what is the yardstick of doing wholesome and unwholesome deeds? The one who has removed self-identity is the one who attains Sotapanna. But Sotapanna, even he removed self-identity, doubt and attachment to rite and ritual, he or she still has craving, anger, and delusion that they also do wholesome and unwholesome. Because of craving, they stay attached to something. Even they know that anger is not theirs, greed is not theirs. Because of attachment, they stay accumulating wholesome deeds. Because they have no self-identity, that when they are angry, they understand this is not my anger. So they fed it. They fed in the way the firemen torture them. For example, the one who is ordinary person, who haven't removed self-identity, when anger arises, he or she thinks, this is my anger. Because of having no right view, because of wrong view as I and mine, he or she acts very angrily. But for the one who is Sotapanna, who has removed self-identity, he or she still has anger, that when the anger arises, he knew or she knew, now anger comes up to the surface of the mind. But he feels shame of that defilement. He feels shame of that defilement. He feels shame of arising of that defilement. Shame. Feel. Because of not knowing as my anger, I am angry that they don't react like those who don't understand in that way. Because they understand that this is not my anger. This is just a function of the anger. that they will not react the way ordinary people react, but they feel angry too. Wholesome and unwholesome, it is decided by our wisdom only. Okay? Because wisdom faculty, it can differentiate wholesome and unwholesome, not because of atta and not because of self-identity. Right knowledge is realistic to differentiate wholesome and unwholesome. Can I say the truth? Now, scholars they understand what is the old teaching, which one is the old teaching of the Buddha. I think you all understand too. Okay? So if you want to, this is related to right knowledge. If we want to attain right knowledge, we need to study the true teaching of the Buddha, the old teaching of the Buddha, not the modernized teaching. So in our country, it is defined, the word Theravada is defined as the teaching of the Buddha handed down from one generation to another without changing, adding, removing anything. It is called Theravada. That's why if you want to follow the original teaching, you must follow the true teaching handed down from one generation to another without changing, without adding, without removing anything.
I understand that certain Theravada Buddhist scholars think that Theravada Buddhism is not a religion. Do you share that view?
What is religion? So now many scholars they say praying system, belief system, worshipping system, it is called religion. But Buddhism, it is not praying system, worshipping system, believing system. By striving oneself, we can realize the truth only in this way. That's why we can say this is not the religion. This is not my own words. It appears in the Anguttara Nikaya. Because our Buddha said, if we want long life, if we want healthy, if we want to be healthy, if we want to be rich person, I don't say that just by praying you can attain it. Just by mere praying you cannot expect it. But by doing what you need to do, only then you can live long. You can be rich, you can be famous, you can be happy.
She says, with birth that there's no self. Then who's practicing right now? What is this?
If there is no self, who is practicing? Now, all the ordinary people don't understand there is no self. They all have strong ego. It is self-view. Only after practicing meditation and realizing Nibbana, removing self-identity, they understand there is no self. To be able to remove that self-view, Buddha taught us meditation. Following his teaching, we can remove and we can understand there is no self. But we have to remove all the defilements, only then we can make free from suffering. The one who attains Sotapanna, but when you practice vipassana meditation, when you attain dependent origination, it means when you know cause and their effects. At that time you see there is no creator, also there is no self, only there is cause and their effects. They all are all the time arising and perishing. We can't say not to arise and we can't say not to perish after it arising. It is out of control. Only at that time we say there is no self. Practically, but unshakable mind on that knowledge is only when someone attains Sotapanna. Only at that time, unshakable faith, unshakable understanding, unshakable mind on that Dharma arises. Buddha said, if there is arising of this, this will arise. If there is no arising of this will cease. There is only cause and effect. Understanding this can remove that self-view. Okay, today,
멋있습니다.